Hello, everybody. Talk about as the moon is waxing, which means it's increasing. We're talking about lifting our energy. We're talking about bringing in positive spirits. One of the fastest ways to do that, if you like smoke cleansing, you don't need necessarily a whole herb bundle. It's easy to just take a stick of incense. Now, this is a beefed up stick of incense because this one also has been rolled in. Sweetgrass and cedar are both traditional ways to bring in positive spirits, positive ancestors, and to lift the energy in a space. After you clean with sage, after you clean with dragon's blood, there are many people that then go back through with either cedar or sweetgrass to fill that space and invite in positive energies and positive spirits. I have this candle right here that I can use. Let's see if I can get a good burn on this. I am a magnet for joy and contentment. I invite love, positive energy, my spirit guides, and honored, beloved ancestors into this space. And then you can just sort of sit back and enjoy that and that energy uplift that comes from a simple stick of incense. So simple, so easy. And this is going to be burning for a little while, I think. So does anyone have any questions that they would like to have answered? Because it helps me know what to put into these lives. Yes, that's an incense from my shop. I love these so much. These are something new. And I have mugwort to call in, spirits for divination, and the cedar and the sweetgrass. These things are just heavenly. They smell so good. When you're saging yourself or others, I was taught to start at the head and work your way down to the feet, because you're kind of clearing it down in a way. And the crown is where you start with most spiritual practices. It's honoring the spiritual energies. That crown chakra is very significant. So you start at the head and you work your way down. These are sort of something new, that they actually roll them in some of the actual herbs. And I really like that. And they seem to burn a little bit slower than the other incense sticks do. They're a little more substantial. So far in my shop, I've only tried the mugwort, because I used to burn a whole mugwort bundle for each reading, and it really wasn't necessary. So now I can burn a stick of mugwort and get the real mugwort, because a lot of incense is made from chemicals, and it's just not the same. But you can actually cleanse even a person with an incense stick. You don't necessarily need a whole herb bundle. And a little trick, I think I've forgotten to mention this in the past, but if you have trouble keeping your herb bundle lit while you're doing a cleansing, a lot of people have asked me about that. But taking a tea light candle holder and nestling it down with your herbs in your abalone shell and keeping that lit, that offers you a good way to relight an herb bundle that you're having trouble keeping lit. Another thing that you can do is loosen the strings, and that opens the bundle up. You can open it with your fingers a little wider, and that lets more air in, and the bundle burns more quickly. However, you can see the results of my doing that on occasion, where I end up with a lot of little unburned sticks. I put up a tarot card reading today for the basic energies that we're going to be dealing with. This week has very strong energy for endings and closings and rebirths and transformations. So it's going to be a very powerful week if we lean into those energies in a conscious way. It doesn't matter what time of the day for rituals. It doesn't. That's a super good question to ask. There are people who were thinking had to do like a moon ritual at the exact moment that full moon reached its climax or something. And you don't really need to do that. That energy comes down to us, and it, over time. It's not in just one instant. So you can do it during the day. It doesn't need to be nighttime. You can do it in the mornings. You can do these rituals whenever you need to do them. So unless specifically it has something to do with a threshold time. Now here's some really good questions. I really like that question. Yes, there are special things you can do for the full moon. If you follow me, you will find that I post all the time, every full moon. I post rituals for that full moon, information for working with the full moon. In general, the full moon, the first part of the full moon, the lunar energy is at its maximum power. And that's where you maximize the energy boosting the intentions that you want to manifest. The power is very strong when the moon is just about full. Then you'll often hear that that's also a time to do releases, because once that moon reaches fullness, it's starting to ebb away, and we're going to be tuning into the waning moon phase. So a lot of people first boost whatever it is they're trying to manifest, and then they include in that ritual a release of the things that they realize they no longer want to take into the next lunar cycle. What intentions no longer serve you? What things do you need to let go of for your higher good? And so that's basically the standard for the full moon. What I tend to post, each full moon occurs usually in a zodiac sign. And that zodiac sign, that astrological energy, impacts the way our energy works with that full moon. Because we're already, say it's Capricorn, the Capricorn energy's affecting us. And a full moon is very powerful. It's heightening the impact of that on us. So usually I post a ritual that is the full moon, but it's slightly different from previous, because it takes into account that astrological sign, that impact that energy is having on us at that time. So if you go back through my feeds, you'll find a lot to do with working with the full moon. I am no longer teaching classes right now. With Dead University is on sabbatical right now. If you have an interest in a class, let me know. I'm going to be teaching. I want to teach some Zoom classes, and then I would like to do some on a platform called Udemy, and I'm just wondering what people are interested in. A lot of people have expressed a strong interest in tarot classes, divination, but please let me know what you're interested in. I would like to teach some smaller, shorter classes for people that hopefully wouldn't cost too much. Yes, I use a pendulum all the time. I do tarot all the time. In fact, I just posted a tarot reading for this week's energy. On my site, I do tarot readings. You can go to my store and purchase a tarot card reading. And yes, I incorporate my pendulum in those because they're spirit-led tarot card readings. And so the cards are a form of communication between myself and the spirits. They're a way of visually transmitting information to you. And I also clarify, I call in the person's spirit guides and ancestors, so I can double check in general with them, or sometimes with a particular ancestor. I use my pendulum all the time, and I recommend pendulums as a way of making that connection. Thank you for that. Yes, sometimes I can do it during the daytime. Yes, feel free to do that ritual whenever that you need to in that energetic space. Like for the full moon, there's usually a 72-hour window right before the full moon, the time of the full moon, and the day after. That energy is very strong. So feel free to use that window however works for you. How do you cleanse energy when surrounded by low vibration souls? You really can't. You need to remove yourself. The energy from the people around you is really going to impact you. When you're surrounded by people who are low vibration and low energy, it's very difficult for you to raise the energy around you. You're going to be spending so much of your time shielding yourself from that low vibrational energy. It's going to be very difficult. And when you choose to put yourself in a situation where you're around that, it's your choice. The universe recognizes our choices and our free will. Sometimes in your space, if you lift the energy high enough, if people don't want to go that direction, a low vibration person will actually will leave the environment. They'll flee it. But it's very difficult to shift other people's energy. It takes a lot of protection. I wear tourmaline 24/7 because tourmaline absorbs that negativity and then transmutes it. Some people prefer obsidian because obsidian is more like a shield that repels. So there are things that you can do. And put up an energetic shield, a bubble of light around yourself so that you're surrounded by a white light. Some people do a purple light, and the negativity can kind of bounce off of that. But when you overprotect, in some ways, it makes it difficult for the good things to get through all of that. So it's a short-term strategy. And then every night when you shower, like I do, every night, rinse off whatever you've accumulated throughout the day. A salt scrub at the end of the shower is good if you have that, because that helps. Salt, very cleansing. Even sprinkling just a little salt on a soapy washcloth helps. And I now cleanse myself of any negative or stagnant energy, of any energy that no longer serves my highest good. I am cleansed. I am free. And you just rinse it down the drain. And you visualize gunk washing down the drain. And do it daily. I mean, that also helps if you're stuck in a situation with negative energy. I would love tarot classes. I tried a tarot deck, but I feel a little difficult to read them, meaning need to learn. My suggestion, if you want to learn tarot, there's a deck called the Apprentice Tarot Deck. I like it. I trust it. It just has a few keywords on it, but they're appropriate keywords. They're helpful keywords. If you get that and you get a good book, the Big Book of Tarot, I don't have it up here, is one I really recommend. It's not that expensive on Amazon. And with the Apprentice Tarot and that book, start laying out cards, recording what they were, the meaning you got from them. And then, after some time passes, look back on that. And it's a little muscle that you're flexing. The other thing that I think is a really cool idea, let me see if I have it up here. There's an inexpensive deck of tarot cards that are big. They're big tarot cards. And you can make your own learner tarot cards by putting what correspondences are important to you on that card. Keywords. If you're an astrology person, look up astrological correspondences in tarot and mark it on the card. That's so much better than buying a deck that's got all this stuff on it, because it's too much. Too many correspondences. You only want the ones that are significant and meaningful to you, especially starting out. In my shop, grannymagic.com, I have a free Getting Started with Tarot guide, a little ebook. So if you go to grannymagic.com, look in the free ebook downloads, go into the books and they're there. And there's a tarot one that you can download for free that will also help you get started. Okay? And then I post tarot cards all the time, at least once a week, that give sort of what the meanings of the symbols on the card are. Get Rider Waite, because that's the easy one to learn with. It's the traditional one that the others take off from. And, that's helpful. And then look at the caption, because in the caption, usually I include things that are more me, like, well, this has shown up. What questions should I ask myself? What is it addressing? And, look in the caption, because those questions should help guide you. And that journal that you use for tarot, make it dedicated to tarot. I would love tarot and divination classes. Okay, we can work on that. I'm not great with Zoom, so if you have anything that that's instead of Zoom that you think would be useful to do classes on, kind of let me know, because I have a year subscription to the professional level Zoom, so I'll probably end up using Zoom, but I'm trying to avoid it. What can we do to shield ourselves from negativity? Just like what I've been talking about a minute ago. I hope you were on. The crystals that you wear. Black tourmaline is my go-to. Other people like black obsidian because it's more like a shield. And I have my moldavite and my clear quartz that kind of amplifies that. Do not over-shield or over-protect. It's better to go raising vibrations than over-protection. Okay? I know we all think protection, and there are times we really do need it. Those are things, a little dabs of protection oil. There are people who, and I have posted recipes in the past, but who purchase my protection oil and they just put a drop on every day. Or get yourself one of those lava bracelets. You know, they're absorbent, and you can put protection oil on those lava beads. That will help. And the lava beads themselves absorb the negative and kind of transmute it. That's another good way. And I just mentioned cleansing yourself in the shower every day and rinsing it off. Some people do a deep bath cleansing, and you can do that if you want to reset, if you've really gone through something and you really feel like there's something there that is really hard to get rid of. Lifting the vibrations around yourself, listening to high vibrational music. That's one that's neglected a lot. That music, the influences around you in your space. Are there any neat things to do for making joyful energy for a birthday party? Oh, birthday parties are so much fun. And celebrating that person's birth. I actually have some little birthday spells somewhere. So who is this? Paths of Flowers. Send me a DM, Paths of Flowers, and I can send those little spell-like things to you, because birthdays are such a precious time to celebrate ourselves and the people that we love. What a neat time even to make a positive spell jar, celebrating all the things that we are and thanking our ancestors for our being here. In a lot of cultures, your birthday is a time to thank ancestors and to thank your mother for what she went through to bring you into this world. So they relate to the person who was born and all the people who made it possible, in a sense, for them to be here. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, but I really appreciate the questions. Please keep them coming in. Remember, this is the waxing moon. This is a time for thinking about raising vibrations and manifestations. I hope that's helpful.